Good evening, everybody. Hey, welcome into another The Confident Autistic live stream. I'm glad that you're with us tonight. I appreciate you making time out of your busy, hectic schedule. It's getting really crazy out there with the holidays coming around the corner. So I very much appreciate you all being with me tonight and participating in this. It's our weekly event that we do. I'm glad that we take questions and answers, kind of recap what's happened. We've already got a couple of questions in the chat that people submitted earlier during the week, which I will be answering during this meeting. So stay tuned for that. So this is the Confident Autistic. I'm Chris Mitchell, the Confident Autistic, and this week's special topic is an open Q&A for autistic adults. And I still gotta fix it. I haven't done that on my template. I saw the wrong date down there. It is December 12th, 2024. And I'm embarrassed. I gotta fix that. That's on my to-do list. I will do it eventually. And before we open up the Q&A portion of it, feel free to, if you're watching, tell me where you're watching from. Well, if you're not watching, you wouldn't even hear this, right? So please drop into the chat where you're watching from. And when I say that, I mean what state, community, country you're watching from, because being on the spectrum, I know I take things literally. And when people ask me where are you watching from, I have in past typed from my office, from my recliner in the living room, in a car, on my cell phone. So let's be specific of where you are geographically watching this from. Now, before we get into it, let's recap the videos that have went up in the last 7 days. There's been some great ones. The first one we put up last Friday was fear of talking to strangers. This is a real fear that many of us on the spectrum have. I dived into this topic, explained why we have that fear, and what we can do to overcome that fear. And it was a really great video and got good response. Then on Saturday, we did the positive traits of autistic adults. In our world, in our culture or society of autism, as well as in the overall stigma of, well, maybe not stigma, but how the world views autism, it's often considered a negative thing. We all see the negatives of it, what we can't do, the challenges that we have, etc. So I found 8 positive traits of autistic adults, and we put this up there. And I got some really good responses. In fact, I had one person say this is exactly what they needed to hear because we're so bombarded by the negative things in the world. This was a great video because it helps us see the positive parts of being on the spectrum. Because if we want to become confident autistics, because that's my mission to help you embrace autism confidently, we need to celebrate the positive traits of being on the spectrum. Then I did 8 facts about autism everyone should know. Now, these are not just facts those of us on the spectrum need to know. These should be also the facts that anyone, even those who are not, we need our society to know about that. Others out there, autistics, our allies, everyone to know and embrace these 8 facts about autism. Because a lot of misconceptions out there, and I've done a video on that before, but there's a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes and stigmas, and many of them are not true. So I wanted to do a video on 8 facts about autism everyone should know, and not just an informative video for people off the spectrum, but for those of us on the spectrum. Because when we know the facts about autism, that's going to help us feel more confident that who we are as autistic adults. Then I did one on 8 ways to show you support autistic adults. And this is more for our allies. And no one can go through life by themselves. We all need help. We all need allies. No matter who we are, we need this. So this video gives 8 ways that autistics can support us autistic adults. And when we say support, we're not asking for a handout or charity or anything. We're asking for people to understand who we are, what we're about, our challenges, and help us with some of our some of our challenges, like being respectful if we don't want to go to a noisy environment because the noise is a sensory overload stimuli for us, anything like that. So it's a really great informative video. It's actually a little bit more for people who are our allies than for us who are autistic, but this is a great video for every autistic to watch. So they know what type of support they can ask for and how others outside of our community can help support us as we face the challenges we do on a daily basis as autistic adults. Then I did a really great video. This was one I was very fascinated in because it's been about a year since I started my journey of first suspecting I was on the spectrum, then self identifying I was on the spectrum, then receiving a diagnosis that confirmed my suspicion that I'm on the spectrum. And there's a lot we hear about autism, types of autism. So in this video, I broke down what are the three current levels. There's level 1 autism, level 2 autism, and level 3 autism. And I broke down those, explained what the differences are, what they look like, what some of the characteristics are. And there's a brief history lesson about autism. It's not a detailed one. I plan to do a real detailed video on the history of autism at a later point. But in this video, I explained that prior to 2013, because in 2013, the DSM, the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual, 5th edition, which is used for mental disorder diagnoses, how we find it to these three levels. We had other words for some of the different aspects of autism, which include Asperger's. In this video, I talk about that name, the history and the origin of that name, and why that's fallen out of popularity. And we also had I think it's PDD-NOS, and and the history of that, which is now all merged into the three levels that we have today. Now, the other thing I mentioned in this video, which I find fascinating, up until 2013, you could either be diagnosed with autism or diagnosed as ADHD. Couldn't be both. Well, that really did not make a lot of sense to a lot of people, I don't think. So in 2013, you can now have a dual diagnosis. So if you're diagnosed with one and not the other prior to 2013, and you suspect you have the other, maybe it's not a bad idea to look into that. And the reason I say this with puzzling is because 80% of people who are on the spectrum meet the criteria for ADHD. I don't have in front of me, okay, I did not research them before I came on either, but the numbers of how many people who are ADHD are also on the spectrum. And there's a lot of overlap between characteristics that you find in somebody who is ADHD and somebody who has autism. And I'm sorry, I got something itching my nose. It looks horrible in camera. My apologies. And it makes sense that these can coexist. And this, in my opinion, should have been done many years ago. And I see a day that autism and ADHD may both be on the spectrum together, and autism and ADHD may be combined. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist about this, but I just see that happening someday in our future. And then after that video, I am feeling more autistic. What does that mean? I often see in chat groups and discussion groups that I'm in, people saying, I'm feeling more autistic. And they question, like, well, is it causing me to realize maybe I'm an imposter? Maybe I'm just faking that I'm autistic, and other problems of questioning, are they really autistic? Why am I feeling more autistic now than I did earlier in my life or other times in my life? And there's some reasons, and uh, I won't go into all of them. You want to watch a video to fully break this down. But life stresses. Sometimes life is more stressful, and it will make us more aware of autistic traits and characteristics. So this was the video I did called "I'm Feeling More Autistic." What does it mean? So it really breaks down that term and why people say that at times. And then I went the wrong way. There we are. Why we feel more autistic as we age. Because often people are saying, I'm feeling more autistic as we age. And there's a reason for that. As we get older, life gets more challenging, whether we're aulistics or autistics. And in this case, the in life, things will change. I mean, you're going to have people, you're going to have more responsibilities, more pressures on you. Could be career pressures, could be family issues, family dynamics, the family dynamics changing, new family members coming in, maybe a new relationship, maybe birth of a child, whatever it is, birth of a grandchild, doesn't matter. Things are going to change. Your medical condition can change. Whatever, that's a part of a natural part of aging, and because of all of these things, it's going to cause us more anxiety, which is one of the two major mental health issues people with autism have. Most people on the spectrum, or at least a majority of them, are also experience and battle anxiety and or depression. Those are the two most common. And when you have more stress on you, you're going to feel more anxious, you're going to feel more depressed. And I go into why this is happening, and I think I share some tips on how you can manage that and help your autism through the challenging times in your life. So that's kind of a wrap up what we've done this week. Do we have anyone? No, we don't. Okay. So the chat's going to be starting soon. I already have 2 questions somebody submitted before this live event, because it's the schedule. We put it up there, and you can start, clicking on notify me so you don't miss these events. And prior to that, we had a couple of questions come in, which I'll get to in a moment. And so this is the time you have any questions about adult autism or about how to live confidently or embrace autism with confidence. This is the time that you can type them into the chat, and I will answer them. So, but before we get to that, a couple of things I need to share with you, and that is our numbers for the week. Last week we were at 186 subscribers. This week we're at 191. Now there's an interesting story, and I'm going to be honest with you. I like to be transparent. It shows that we had 5 new subscribers. Actually, we had 10. Unfortunately, 5 people dropped off of our channel. They unsubscribed. And that's all right. I mean, it puzzles me because you never know why somebody leaves your channel. It's a little frustrating, but it does happen. And I know it's part of the growth of the channel, part of the growing pains. But we actually had 10 new subscribers this week, but only 5 registered because we also had 5 people unsubscribe. And that's not too bad as we go into the holiday season. I expect the numbers to be a little bit sluggish right now. Because the previous week we had 20, I think it was 22 new subscribers. Now we only have 5. That's great. We're still growing. Our goal is still 250 by the end of the year, which makes it a little bit more challenging because we need 59 subscribers in the next 19 days. Wow. So we need a little bit more than 3 a day. And the way you can help support the growth of our channel. And when I say our channel, I really mean yours and mine. Because without you, I would be sitting here talking to myself. And that's one of my stems. And I don't need to do that any more than I already do. So you can support this channel if you have not already by liking videos, sharing videos, commenting on videos, and subscribing to the channel. And when you do subscribe, do not forget to click on the little bell, which I call ring the bell, and you'll be notified when new videos go up and when I go live. Right now, I'm in the middle of a 90-day challenge of putting up a video a day that started November 1st and is going to run through January 29th. That'd be 90 days. But we'll probably do 92 through Friday, January 31st. So there's more to come. Excuse me. There's more to come. So make sure you subscribe. There's going to be some great content coming. I'll be telling you some of the content that's coming up next week, a little bit later in this video. So I do truly want to thank you for your support of this channel. It really does mean a lot to me. I cannot put it into words how much it means to me. I read every single comment that's posted. I reply to some. I can't reply to all. I thumbs up probably about 98% of them, acknowledging I read them. And if I don't thumbs up, I still read them. Sometimes I forget to click on the thumbs up. And it really means a lot to me. I love the comments. I love hearing that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm creating and that I'm producing and that I'm putting out there. And if you have any suggestions for a topic you'd like to see, you can always share it in the chat tonight or in any comment on our on any video. Because I do read them and I'm always looking for ideas for videos. And we got some great stuff coming up next year too, which I'm going to be telling you about that next week. I'm going to let you in a few little surprises and plans I have for 2025. So, but that'll be next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Now, before we get into the Q&A, a few things I need to remind you. The information in this video is for informational purposes only. For medical advice or an official diagnosis or therapy, please consult a professional. The advice that may be given in this video by either myself or any participants is our own opinions. Now, sometimes there'll be facts that I'll cite that is a fact that the study said this, blah, 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 but do take it as our opinions. Hashtag Define Yourself, which is the name of my business, / The Confident Autistic, aka Chris Mitchell, shall not be held responsible for any damages caused by you following any advice given during this chat. So you've been warned. Now, a few rules about the chat. I hate going over these, but you know, one of the things in autism, we like rules, we like structure. So let's just share these right now and get them out of the way. No profanity, no political debates. I don't do profanity. Okay, I do in my personal life, but I don't do it here in the channel primarily because I want to keep this to be a casual but yet professional, family-friendly environment where we're not using language that could offend somebody. No political debates. The greatest way to lose subscribers or fans is discuss politics because, as Weird Al Yankovic said, he was at once asked, why doesn't he do political videos? He said that's a great way to lose 50% of your audience instantly. So we stay away from political debates. No hate speech. Come on. Let's be kind here. We have enough of that on social media and in the world these days. We don't need it here, and it will not be tolerated here on this channel or in the Facebook group or anywhere else that we interact with one another. Always be respectful of other people. You want people to respect you, you got to respect them. It's a simple little rule. And respect each other's opinion. Now, respecting someone else's opinion does not mean you have to like it. I know people who do not get that, never got that in their lifetime. I'm talking about my dad here. But respecting someone's opinion does not mean you have to like it or agree with it. It doesn't mean you respect their right to their opinion. If you want them to respect the right to yours, you need to respect theirs. So, those are the ground rules. Let's go ahead and let me get over here to the screen and take a look here. I had two questions here about where did I get my certification and what are my certifications as a multi-certified life coach. So let me move this screen over. This is going to look pretty cool. All right, here we go. This is from my website, and it shows my coaching certifications. Now, I earned my coaching certifications through a company named Transformational Academy. And before I go deeper into this, to be a life coach, confident coach, or any other kind of coach, you are not required here in the United States to have any certifications. That's not required at all. You don't have to. I recommend it. I think it gives you more credibility, and people will think that you know what you're talking about because you actually do. So I went through Transformational Academy to get my certifications. And the 5 certifications or the certifications I earned is a Master Life Coach certification, a Professional Life Coach certification, and then I earned a Goals Success Life Coach certification, a Life Purpose Life Coach certification, Confidence Life Coach certification, and a Happiness Life Coach certification. Now, through Transformational Academy, they have provided me with material I can use in my coaching program, and 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 it's great material. But I have and I am creating my own program and my own material, so it's custom made for my needs and for the needs of my audience, because and my clients, because the coaching programs they created are for, well, anyone can use them, but they're more tailored for autistics. And as autistics, we do have unique needs that need to be met. And so I'm tailoring the coaching program, especially self confidence, for people who are on the spectrum. You're going to be learning more about that coaching program and opportunities about that in 2025. Okay, and so I hope that does answer the question about my coaching certifications and give you a little insight on that aspect of what I do. Like I said, we'll be talking more about that in 2025. And we got another comment here. This is from Marie, it looks like. I had so much trouble reading small text. Okay, Marie. Hi, Chris. I'm self-identified and also a phlebotomist. Oh, you're one of those people I'm scared of. I really don't like giving blood. I saw your other video and was wondering what things I could say to autistics that are uncomfortable with needles. That's a great question. I really appreciate that question. That's a great thing. Now, it's hard to tell if one of the person you're drawing blood from is autistic or not, unless they identify or you see some signs of it. And you should not stereotype, but you may see some traits that indicate they may be on the spectrum. One thing is, and I mentioned in the video, I'm sure you watched it, but I'm going to reiterate it here. Offering a butterfly needle. Not everyone knows it's called a butterfly needle. At least I call it that. And if it's a different term, let me know. Because a butterfly needle is less painful for the shot, for the blood draw, I should say. And it's very easy to do. Uh, I've had phlebotomists ask me two questions. Well, one question with two choices. Do you want me to tell you when I'm going to inject the needle or insert the needle on you, or do you just want me to do it? That gives us the power to know that we have some control over what's happening. Because for the fear of the needle, for many autistics, I'm not speaking for all, but at least for myself, we feel like when we're giving blood or any procedure like that, we're losing control over our body and someone else is doing stuff to us that we know is happening, but we don't have much of a say in when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And some of us have sensory issues, and the touch of someone or something else could be upsetting. So if you offer to that person, do you want me to just, stick the needle in and draw the blood out? Or do you want me to tell you it's coming and maybe even say, I can count down to 3 and then we can start the blood draw? That gives that person some idea it's coming, especially if sensory issues, and they can mentally prepare themselves from it. You can, if they look anxious, you can talk to them and tell them, close your eyes if they would like to, and envision a place you would like to be and tell me about it. Engage in a conversation with them. Don't talk down to somebody, especially the adult, like they're a child, because I know I do. I find that so insulting to me and it's offensive. So you want to talk to them as an adult and all, because hey, everyone has fears. Let's be honest, whether you're autistic or holistic, we all have fears in our lives, and we just have to learn to deal with them, and sometimes need help through them, and that is one way to do it. And some people may want you, or they may need you to explain, okay, I'm going to put the band around your arm, and explain to them the steps that you're doing so they know, and before you do it, so they know what sensation is coming. Like you usually, I think what you guys do first, I zone out. Okay. I think you kind of tap on the arm to find where the vein is. Then you put that rubber band around it, and then you draw the blood. So if you tell us, okay, I'm going to tap on your arm very gently, that's where, so they will know that sensation is coming, especially if they have sensory sensitivities about being touched. And then the band going around, letting them know that you're going to put the band on, will also help them be mentally prepared for that. So it should be less traumatizing and stressful for them. And then letting them know the needle's coming if they want to know all this. Some of us just do it, get it done with, and I want out of here. So you want to do that through there. Now, one thing that bothers me, I had this happen at a blood draw. I told the phlebotomist I was autistic and I had a horrible fear of needles. Before I get to that, let me also mention this. Ask them if they which arm they would prefer it in. Maybe they're more sensitive to touch in the right arm than left arm, or vice versa. And if you ask them that, that could help them feel less anxious about the sensory overload that they may be experiencing. So you may want to try that as well. But one thing that happened to me when I get a blood draw, and it's not only blood draws, but it did happen in a blood draw. I told the phlebotomist that I have autism. I'm definitely afraid of needles, and it's a very traumatizing experience for me. I also jokingly, but I meant it. You may hear me whimper, and I may give you a dirty look. Don't take it personally. I just don't like needles. So another phlebotomist came in, and the phlebotomist that was drawing my blood was drawing it from my right arm, so she was on the right side of me. And then the other one stood at my left, and I felt cornered, which caused me more anxiety. Not that I'm going to try to get up and run away, which is really not an option because I'm physically disabled from an incomplete spinal cord injury, but just feeling cornered makes it more anxious. So you want to at least, from my experience, and like I said, each autistic person is different, let them see that there's a way out and they're not being cornered and being attacked while they're giving blood, and that's going to make it easier for them. And of course, it might be a little bit different in a hospital room. If they're in the hospital bed, whatever, maybe if they're in the hospital bed, get them to focus in on the TV or play with a tablet, or you can even let them play with the tablet, look at the phone while they're giving blood, in the lab, whatever. So, those are my suggestions. I hope that does help you with your job. Let's see. And now we have another question here. Do you deal with delayed processing of emotions, possibly with emotions involved in personal relationships or something that occurs during a social interaction? Delayed emotions. I've been doing some studying on that. I think I have that at times. I don't know. I know I analyze stuff like up a wall, constantly analyzing it. But that would be an interesting topic for a video. I could do a topic on a video on that and dive deeper into that. Yeah, that's really interesting because I know some of us on the spectrum do have delayed emotions. Mine Mine are pretty quick. I mean, something ups mine is I will have the emotion right away. I might not be able to identify what the heck that emotion is for hours, sometimes days. I don't understand why I'm feeling a certain way I do. But yeah, I mine are more instantaneous, but I do know that people on the spectrum that something can happen and 3 or 4 days it could hit them. And yeah, this is an interesting topic. I'm going to do some research on that and I'll put a video together for that. So thank you for that video suggestion because that's something I like to explore more about. I'm always fascinated to learn more about autism. You could say it's my special interest because now I eat, drink, and breathe autism. I'm watching autistic movies. I'm probably driving my wife crazy with all the autistic stuff I'm popping up on our TV. I'm always watching YouTube videos. I'm trying to read a book a week and doing a book review each week on my website. I've been approached by authors of upcoming um, books related to autism, and I get to be a beta reader or advanced reviewer of it where I get a free copy, I read it, I give them a review, and I save me money on buying books. I'll tell you that. And so I'm always consuming and wanting to learn everything I can about autism. It's kind of, like I said earlier, kind of my special interest. So that sounds like a really great idea to look into delayed emotions. I never really thought about it that much. I've been aware of it, but never really thought about it because I don't have, I'm not putting anyone down. If you have that problem, if you experience delayed emotions, I'm not mocking you. Just I don't have that. And that this illustrates the point that everyone here on the spectrum is different. It's like the expression goes, you met one autistic person, you have met one person with autism, or words to that effect. But you get the point of what I'm trying to say there, right? I know you do because you're smart people. Okay, so I think I went through the questions. I'm going to talk for a few more moments here and see if any other questions come in. And I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that's coming up next week. It's an exciting week. You know, Christmas is 2 weeks away. Actually, less than 2 weeks away. Here's the thing: if you want to put in the chat, have you started Christmas shopping? Are you in the middle of Christmas shopping, or have you finished Christmas shopping? For me, I got everything done except one gift. I got it. I'm going to order it tonight. And how do you do Christmas shopping? Mine has been through Amazon. Okay, I got one item, no, two items from Walmart, but everything else has been Amazoned. I don't like crowds, the sensory overload from the noise of the crowds, the lights in the store, and all just way too much for me. The greatest invention in my lifetime has been Amazon and online shopping. So I'm so stoked about that. So yeah, share with me where you are in the Christmas shopping and how you handle all of that. Or Hanukkah. Hanukkah. I love that. I remember watching this in the Rugrats. You gotta when you say Hanukkah. Kind of cute. I'm not making fun of the religion. It's a cool way of saying it. It's fun. And there's so many different ways you spell the word Hanukkah. It's fascinating to me. Anyway, Hanukkah this year starts on Christmas night, so it's gonna be kind of cool. I remember, and this is funny. Many years ago, I had a friend of mine, and he's Jewish. Okay, and he called me up on December 25th. Okay, he said, "Hey man, you want to go to a movie today?" And I said, "You know, bud, today's kind of busy for my people." He forgot it was Christmas. It was funny. Okay, anyway, yeah, so share your Christmas shopping experiences. Next week, one of the videos that we will be producing is definitely going to be talking about imposter syndrome and how many people on the spectrum feel that, especially when they're starting to suspect they're autistic, self identify as autistic, or even after they received a late diagnosis of autism. These are things that we go through. We question ourselves, we doubt ourselves, we're wondering, am I really autistic or am I faking it? And all this imposter syndrome stuff. So we're going to be taking a deep dive into that next week. Also, next Tuesday, not because I'm hinting for anything, except for my wife who's watching. My birthday is coming up next Tuesday, so uh, it's going to be an exciting week for me. And next week on Wednesday will be the 6 month anniversary since my diagnosis was my suspicion was confirmed by a diagnosis that I'm on the spectrum. And I'm going to be doing a video, probably be up next Friday, the 20th, that a reflection of how this has changed my life. You know, I said earlier, been about a year and a half since I started the journey and went through all the stuff I've been going through and all. So I'm going to talk about what this means to be on to receive that diagnosis and in what ways it's made my life better and how it has challenged my life. So those are some of the things that will be coming up next week on there. And we will be back next Thursday night. I know some people who do these live things on Thursday nights, they're shutting down for the holidays. Autism does not take a holiday. Neither will I. I will be here next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Time for another live Q&A session. And I will be here on December 26th, Boxing Day. Well, they call it Boxing Day. And in the United Kingdom, they call it the Boxing Day because that's the day, I think they do it in Canada as well, where in for the more elite people, wealthy people, people who have money, unlike me, the servants and the masters of the house trade places for a day. Now in America, it used to be, and it kind of still is Boxing Day, but it's a totally different meaning. We box up the gifts we did not want and we take them back to the store. But I will be here on December 26th at 7 p.m. Central, and we will be sharing. Well, we'll do the Q&A, but this will be a chance for you to share what you got for Christmas. In fact, I'm going to open up a Zoom room that night and I don't have the link set up for you to register for it, where you can join me in the Zoom room, not just in the YouTube, but you can be in the Zoom room. And if you feel comfortable, you can go on camera and share some of the cool stuff you got for Christmas. I'll share the cool stuff I got for my birthday and Christmas. So that will be coming up on the 26th. Then the 2nd of January, we'll be back kicking off 2025 with a whole bunch of fun stuff. Now, next Thursday night here, I will be giving you a little sneak peek of what you can expect in 2025 and what some of my hopes and plans are for 2025, so we can start thinking about the new year. So I would just like to thank you so very much for joining me tonight for the uh, Confident Autistic live Q&A. I thank your participation. I hope I answered everyone's questions tonight. And I hope you found this informative. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I put up new videos most days. Well, right now, the 90-day challenge, every day at 3 p.m. Central, a video does go live. So feel free to check that out. So until we talk again, I do want you to know that I do read each and every comment that is posted on this video or any other video. I may not be able to comment on all of them, but I do read them. I wish you a very safe and relaxing holiday season. I have done a video recently on the channel that will help you get through the holidays as a person on the spectrum. So go take a look for that. Let me see if I can find that real quickly. Let me do this tab. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Maybe even done it in the last week. I just got to go find it. I'm going to find it here and I'm going to put it into the chat. And here we go. We'll get my list of videos up. Ta da 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 da. What is here we are, An Autistic's Guide to Surviving the Holidays. So let me put that into the chat for everybody here. So if you've not watched this video, take a peek at that. And so until next time, I'm Chris Mitchell, the Confident Autistic, and I'm on a mission to help you embrace autism confidently. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all next Thursday. And at the very least, have a wonderful and safe holiday, well, not holiday weekend, but a coming weekend. And I know we have Friday the 13th coming. Ooh, some of us are suspicious, some of us are not. And then we have the weekend and another fun week and all the hustle and bustle of Christmas. During that time, don't forget to take some time to take care of yourself and practice self-care. So until next time, I wish you a happy and peaceful evening and a wonderful weekend. Thanks for tuning in.